Hi and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, so excuse my French, but we are going to go there. What is causing you to feel like shit? I'm also going to share a simplified approach to get you feeling your best and living the life you deserve. My name is Ashley, and I worked in the conventional nursing world in various roles as a pediatric nurse for over a decade. In 2017, I followed my dreams to get certified as an integrative nutrition health coach. Today, I help tired and overworked moms reach their health goals and feel their best by decreasing the underlying inflammation in their body. I do this by simplifying complex topics like gut health and environmental toxins. But I also have a passion for getting your kids to make healthy food choices on their own so that you can feel like the warrior mom you are. Today, we're going to be touching on a few of those topics. So more specifically, we're going to be talking about how your gut impacts your overall health. I also will walk you through a model to maximize your health and, most importantly, help you identify actionable tips and next steps that you can take on your journey. Do you suffer from digestive issues? What about headaches, fatigue, maybe brain fog or mood imbalances? What about skin abnormalities or rashes? I know many of us do. My journey with gut health started with my own personal life. My son's issue started when he was about 1.5, and although I didn't know it at the time, it was going to become reoccurring for the next few years. His story started with unexplained fevers, then skin issues, and eventually turned to his lungs when he was about 3.5. Had I not been in my health coaching training, I likely would have left the pediatrician's office with a steroid cream and a daily inhaler prescription. That ultimately would have only been the band-aid to the problem. And I'm so grateful for where we are now, and I want to scream to the world what I know. So too many people are suffering. According to the CDC, 60% of Americans live with at least one chronic disease, with 4 in 10 having 2 or more. And our children aren't much better, with 1 in 4 diagnosed with a chronic illness. And the Weston Price Foundation estimates by 2030 it's going to be closer to 1 in 2 children. This is so sad. It's become my life's work to make an impact on these numbers, especially with our littles. They need us, and they are our future. Before you get to that chronic illness state, though, you're likely going to spend many years with other undesirable symptoms. And that's what I want to focus on today, helping you become aware of what might be going on, why, and then stop the destiny that so many end up with. So let's talk about some of those everyday symptoms that you or someone you likely know may be experiencing. So I mentioned headaches, fatigue, brain fog, mood imbalances, and skin abnormalities. Of course, also very common are the chronic constipation, diarrhea, and acid reflux. But what about even milder symptoms like bloating or gas? I think people associate some of those to the gut because of the obvious parts of the body involved, but likely many aren't thinking about how your gut health can affect all of those. What if I told you the stuff you're consuming could be affecting how you feel? And more importantly, affecting how your gut is functioning? Better yet, what if I told you it didn't have to be that way? So let me share a little bit more about why this is the case, and then I'm going to help you make some changes to get you on the road to better health. The food you eat ends up, of course, in your digestive system, and 70 to 80% of your body's immune system is in your gut. Also, 70% of your body's dopamine and 90% of your body's serotonin are produced there. Those are the hormones in your body that make you feel good and happy and help regulate our mood. Your gut truly is the powerhouse of your entire body and health, both physical and mental. So naturally, if your gut isn't thriving, your body may begin to break down and present you some issues. Let's take a high-level overview of how this could happen. What you eat matters, and in my opinion, may be the single most important thing you can control when it comes to your health. But as part of this training, I'm going to touch on a few other areas. So first up is damage to your gut. This can occur for various reasons: infections, stress, alcohol, medications, environmental concerns, and of course, even food. After that damage occurs because of repeated insults, the lining of your gut begins to loosen and break down. This is known as intestinal permeability, or the layman term leaky gut. So now that barrier that keeps things where they need to be is not able to do its job. Things begin to get through that aren't supposed to, and your body sees them as foreign. When your body sees these things as foreign, it's going to mount an inflammatory reaction. And this is when you may begin to see some abnormal reactions or symptoms. If this occurs over and over, that inflammation will likely become chronic, and that's when your body is at the most risk for developing a chronic disease. What is interesting is everyone's body may present differently. So to say that again a little bit differently, those headaches, eczema, slight anxiety, those are your first indicators. If you are here, you are listening. Your body is trying to tell you it needs help getting back on track, and I'm so proud of you for trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so now what? Let's talk about the solution. Today I want to walk you through the functional medicine 5-step protocol to healing your gut. The 5 R's stand for remove, replace, repopulate or reinoculate, repair, and then rebalance. But what the heck does all of that mean? So first up is remove. We need to start looking at potential things your body needs a break from. That may mean processed foods, or maybe even seemingly healthy foods that your body is now struggling with because of the damage to your gut. Also starting to work on awareness of potential chemical or artificial exposures in your world. Remember, anything artificial your body is going to see as not normal and fight back, initiating that inflammatory reaction. You might also need to think about the possibility of removing some infections from your body, specifically things that could be going on in your gut. So just start out by having awareness. Maybe start reading labels and journaling what you're eating and how it's making you feel. Then you could consider playing around with adjusting what you're eating to see if you notice any differences. Next, we need to start replacing your body with things that it may be deficient in. Maybe that's low stomach acid or even just simply nutrient-dense foods. Maybe you just need some help digesting food so your body can get those nutrients easier. Some simple action steps here are just to slow down and let your body work on digesting the food you're eating so that your body can fully absorb those nutrients. Put your fork down between bites and chew, chew, chew. Also, maybe consider not drinking a ton while you're eating so you're not further diluting the stomach acid that is needed to digest your food. Then we need to repopulate or reinoculate. This is where we need to focus on getting your gut and the microbes that live there, so all the little workers on the job, back in full force. You may have outnumbered good guys with bad or just a complete wipe of them all because of various medications you've had to be on. Fermented foods are not new, but they are becoming more mainstream and for good reason. They help populate your gut with lots of healthy microbes. Fermented raw sauerkraut is our absolute favorite. Kefir, which is a fermented drinkable yogurt, is another great option. And kombucha is a delicious fermented drink, but that's really more of a bonus and shouldn't be considered your only ferment. If you have a really impaired gut, you also may want to consider a probiotic supplement to help boost getting your gut flora back in shape. Also, the single most important thing you can do is to increase your daily intake of veggies. These are rich in prebiotic fibers that help feed the good microbes in your gut. Then we need to work on repairing your gut lining. So remember we talked about the damage from various factors breaking down the lining of your gut? So simply giving your body rest from additional damage is extremely important. You also may need some help getting things repaired. This can be done by consuming nourishing bone broths or even some various gut supplements. The final step is probably the most important. If you don't work on rebalancing, in 6 months to a year, you're going to be right back in the same boat. So the things we need to focus on here is managing your stress, sleeping more and better, and continuing to nourish your body with the right foods. If we do the opposite and are stressed out all the time, don't know how to manage that daily stress we encounter, are not getting good sleep, and continuing to make poor food choices, additional damage will occur and inflammation will remain. You're going to be in that same situation and never get to the results you're hoping for. Also, just continue to look around and learn about potential exposures that your body may see as foreign and gradually make swaps. Environmental Working Group is a great resource that I utilize a lot. I also do a lot of product swaps on my own personal social media, so if that's an area you're interested in learning more about, head over there to check some of that out. Some of my favorite stress reducers are the Insight Timer app for some guided meditation, or just a simple breathing technique that I coined preschool breaths. Anyone can do it regardless of the age. So simply inhale and smell the flowers, and exhale, blowing out the birthday candles. Repeat that a few times in a row and you're instantly going to feel more calm. Maybe even consider setting your phone timer to do this a couple times throughout the day. Okay, so let's summarize and review those one more time. So start with awareness of the foods you're eating, even consider food journaling to see how you're feeling after certain foods. It may take 72 hours for you to feel a reaction to food, so it's often hard to connect the dots if you aren't tracking it. Also, have awareness about other potential exposures in your life that are not ideal. Then work on some basic level replacing of nutrients and possibly the more advanced work of working with a holistically minded trained professional to evaluate the need for potential digestive enzymes or maybe even just some strategies for addressing stomach acid. Then you need to focus on increasing the good guys in your gut by upping your veggie intake and trying some new fermented foods like raw fermented sauerkraut. Then give your body a break from all those things that's causing damage and allow time to heal. Maybe even add a glass of bone broth every day for some extra support. And finally, work on a strong maintenance plan so you avoid getting back in the same situation. Okay, I know that may seem extremely overwhelming. I know it did for me when I first learned it, but it is manageable, and more importantly, I promise it works. I tell you from personal experience. So interestingly to note, my husband and I went through this same protocol when my son did, even though we didn't have those obvious checkbox symptoms, and we felt drastically better. We slept better, we had more energy, we just felt better. It was great. So if you're interested in learning more about how focusing on your gut can change the way you look and feel, I would love to chat more. I want to see more people happy, full of energy, looking and feeling great and free from illness. And I know you can get there with some dedication. So I actually have a 45-day gut health reboot program that I offer a few times a year. In this program, I do a deeper dive into the causes and those 5 R's, but I also simplify it because I know it can be a lot. I have my own personal 5-pillar gut health reboot framework that I have developed that builds in actionable steps for you to take away and get started today. It is so important that you understand the what and why, but most important is to help you get to the how, because that's when you're going to see those results. And I will walk alongside you through the entire process. Also, as part of this program, I share some recipes. I think there's over 50 and counting at this point, and a 3-week meal plan to help you get through that rest stage. I also share some of our favorite brands and just other various resources, all the things that I wish I had when I was first learning what I needed to do for my son. You'll also learn those lifelong skills that you need to navigate your health and make a difference in how you feel for the long term, because it's truly the sustainable changes that make the biggest impact. Plus, like I said, I will be by your side the entire time. You'll have access to me for the full 48 days of the program, and you're going to get my own personal toolbox of resources that, again, I desperately wish I had when I was going through this years ago. Remember, if this is you, you don't have to live this way forever. There is a better future. I can see you there, happy, healthy, full of energy, and not living in fear of food and how you might feel. So this is a little sneak peek of the program. Once you get access and you log in, there are 7 different modules, and then broken down in those modules is 22 total videos. So it is really, truly jam-packed with information. There's also 20 plus digital downloads, and all of that you're going to get, of course, instant access to, but then you'll have access to it for lifelong, basically as long as the platform is available to me. There's also an app which is really great to download so that you can run through these modules when you're on your walk, doing laundry, or just running your kids from activity to activity. This really is manageable, I promise. As a busy mom to 3 kids myself, it had to be something I knew you could get through and see the changes you're desperately waiting for. But don't just take it from me. Here's a couple of feedbacks that I just recently heard. Maureen is a mom to 2 girls whose goals were to sleep better at night, have regular bowel movements, and lose the brain fog. She had such great results for the first half of the rest program that she was nervous to continue and mess up, but she powered through, and I'm glad she did. Haley was struggling with IBS and chronic heartburn, and she had started some of her own journey with gut health by making some dietary changes and started taking probiotics. But ironically, she is also a nutrition teacher, and I was so grateful for the feedback she shared with me. She found value in this program despite what she already knew. This information just isn't common knowledge, even among those in the medical and nutritional field, and those are the frontline workers that people come to for help. My life's work and dedication to you is to not just prescribe you another Band-Aid to your problem. I want to help you get to the root cause so that you can feel the difference for the long term. So if you are ready to get started, you can do so in the link below, but I'd also love to chat with you more because I know it can be overwhelming and it's a huge decision. So feel free to shoot me an email or send me a message via my social media. But if you aren't ready to make that transition yet, I totally understand. I'd still love to support you on your journey. So head over to Facebook or Instagram and join our community there. I will say I'm a little bit more active on Instagram, and you're going to get a little bit more content there because I can do more videos and such, but I do spend a little bit of time on Facebook as well. So anyway, thank you so much for spending time with me today and figuring out how to learn how to care for yourself better. And I hope I will talk to you again soon.